Hi, everyone. This is Henry DeVries from Indie Books International. I'm so excited to have author Penny Reed with us today. Penny, tell us your story.
I would be honored. Thank you. So, if we go way back, I'll give you guys a little bit of background. I am a dental consultant, a dental business consultant, and had been in business for myself since 1994. Well, as I'm sure most of you that have been in business for yourself before know, it doesn't always go like this, right? There are ups and downs that happen in business. And in 2014, I found myself separated from my spouse, who was also my business partner. I had moved into a small apartment with my daughter and basically was starting over from scratch, not somewhere that you want to be after you've been in business that long, but there I was trying to figure out how I was going to not only survive, but pay that private school tuition, right? So I reached out and actually went to a conference with Mark LeBlanc and Henry DeVries because I heard these were the guys, that this is who to go to when you want to grow your business. And my thoughts were I not only needed to grow it, I needed to do it quickly. So reached out to them, did a book chat with Henry. You know, I always knew I wanted to write a book. And I'm really glad that I found them because the book that I was going to write was not the book that I wrote. As Henry said on our book chat, interesting topic, probably not going to, it's like, what's your outcome? And I told him, I want to grow my consulting business. He's like, that's probably not going to be the one to do it. So in a 30-minute conversation, we came up with this, growing your dental business. He said, what do you do? I said, I help dentists grow their practices. And so the results from the book really, I mean, not that, hey, if I hadn't thought it would be a great thing, I wouldn't have done it. But it really, the impact is still, I'm still feeling the impact from the book in a very positive way. So we had the book chat in 2014. I'm a procrastinator, so it took me a little while to get started. But once I did, in May of 2015, I had the book in hand. And even though at the time I had 20 years of experience, I will say this for any of you that are listening and thinking about writing a book, if you've never written one, it changes the way that people react to you. From a branding perspective, best thing, hey, I once spent more than I spent to publish a book to be on the cover of a dental publication. I got a little bit of business from that and then it was gone. The impact of this, it's like, oh, you've written a book. All of a sudden they're rolling out the red carpet for you. Many doors open, my speaking calendar. Literally, I've spoken more in the last 3 years than I spoke in the 22 years prior to that. And I think a lot of it for me as a consultant and a coach, even though all of this was in me, it really, I don't want to say forced me, it led me down to the path to clarify my message. And made it really easy for dentists who were considering working with me. I could send them a book and they're like, what's this Penny Reed all about? And, you know, the initial fear, remember my team said, why would they hire you if they have the book? I said, that's a great question, but they need me to implement what's in the book. So it not only changed, it helped my self-confidence. I went from zero to nearly $300,000 a year in income in a very short period of time, right? In just a couple of years. So could I have done it without the book? Probably, well, definitely not, because I don't think that I would have gotten where I'm a big believer in coaching, right? I'm a coach. So the coaching to get the book done, the distilling of the message, and then the marketing strategy to utilize the book. It may be 5 years old, and even with COVID, everything in here will help dentists grow their practice. So Henry, I don't know if there are any other pearls from my past, from Penny's past. It's the triple P that you might find meaningful for those that are tuning in.
Well, Penny, you get a lot of the credit because you got coaching and you followed through. And some things didn't work and it wasn't easy. You persevered through the process, and Mark and I love your work so much that we wanted to be involved in the next iteration. So tell them about the book we've got coming out.
So one of the things that I'm passionate about in the dental industry, everything, and I realize most of you are like, okay, we don't do dental, but it's a business just like other businesses. And everything from the branding to the time the phone is answered, appointments being scheduled, everything comes down to sales, right? Getting people to say yes. And so there's a lot of money, time, blood, sweat, tears invested in getting the patients in the door, getting them in the chair. But if we can't have a compelling message for those patients to really inspire their desire to do treatment, then we've really done all that in vain, right? We have to keep feeding the marketing machine to get people in. And so had a conversation. Actually, I think the dream of this book was born long before we actually got started on it. Is Henry has an amazing book called Persuade with a Story. So amazing that it was a beach read. I actually read that book sitting on the beach. I did. Great book. And so we began to talk about, wouldn't it be beneficial? Wouldn't it be awesome if we had a book like this for the dental community, for dentists and their teams to be able to use the power of storytelling to create that visual picture. I'm a huge Disney fan. If any of you probably looking in the back, you see the Mickey Mouse phone. It's not plugged in. It's just there because I like Mickey. Walt Disney was a master storyteller. And even in the wonderful world of Disney, some of you are too young to know what that show is. You should Google it. But Walt was always telling a story. He had props. So storytelling is a verbal way of creating those same feelings, emotions, and images. So and this is not actually out yet at the time that we're having this conversation, because you'll see I have one of the not for resale copies here of Persuade with a Case Acceptance Story, which is a project with Henry and I and Mark LeBlanc. And I'm super, super excited about it. Can't wait to get it in the hands of dentists and their teams and really help mentor them along through the book. Of how to use the power of storytelling in their practices with their patients.
Well, Penny, it's a mutual admiration society. We're really glad to be involved with you and glad we could be on the journey and glad we're continuing on the journey. So thank you so much for being with us today. And to the viewers, if you're interested, we have several stories of how authors have been successful, like Penny Reed. So please check out it on the video channel here at Indie Books International. Thanks again, Penny, for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Okay. Should we do the Zoom thing? Bye, everybody. Bye.
Bye, everybody. Bye. Bye. Bye, everybody.